Hello, you crazy, wonderful people, and welcome to another installment of Metalhead Central, the show where I take an honest look at the harder side of music and give it an honest ranking. This is episode 14 of the show. Not that that's significant, but I think we're overdue for something that I did a lot of last year.
Mega Reviews! Mega Reviews! Mega Reviews!
Yes, indeed. Today is our first mega review of the year. There may be more, there may not be. We'll just have to see how things work out. 3 albums, 2 bands, and a whole lot of metalcore, alt metal, melodic death metal goodness. Today we're going to be taking a look at Demon Hunter's 2 new albums. Yes, I said 2. One's called War and the other one's called Peace. So yes, I can actually say that I am reviewing War and Peace for this channel. All you intellectuals out there, you're welcome. We're also going to be looking at In Flames' new album, I, the Mask. So first, we're going to talk about Christian metal stalwarts Demon Hunter and their new album, War, which dropped March 1st on Solid State Records. Now, this is the label that introduced me to some of my favorite Christian metal bands. And let me tell you something, for as much flack as Christian metal gets in the more secular metal world, some of them are just as good as the secular dudes are, okay? As far as the album is concerned, it's not quite the masterpiece that they've put out in the past, but still, it's a very, very good album. I especially like the first half of the album, which featured typical Demon Hunter fare. Amazingly metallic verses followed up by gorgeous sweeping choruses. In other words, right up my alley. On My Side was an excellent lead single, and other songs like The Negative, Unbound, and album opener Cut to Fit are sure to be fan favorites. My issue with this album lies towards the back half of it. Album closer, Lesser Gods, feels very underwhelming compared to the amazing melodic nature of Cut to Fit. It just feels like the album sort of skidded and screeched to a stop instead of barreling through the wall like they should have done. I also have a bit of a problem with the song Ash. It's a very thrash-centric song, which is fine, but you've got to add some kind of catchiness to it. Ryan Clark did an interview with Loudwire about this song, and he talked about it being very, very thrash-heavy. And they've done this before, but on their other thrash songs, they're catchy enough to where they stick around and they're good tunes. This, not so much. The song sort of lacks the catchiness. So like I said, the album's not a masterpiece, but it's still a very, very good collection of songs, and there are a bunch of tunes on here that I'll be coming back to. It just needs a little more catchiness and a little less repetition towards the back half of the tracks. I give Demon Hunter's War an 89 out of 100 on the YPS scale. Next, we'll be taking a look at their second new album, Peace, which also dropped March 1st on Solid State. This was by far the best out of the 2 albums, where War had a very solid first part, a good middle portion, and then sort of teetered on the brink of becoming dull for the last 2 or 3 songs. Peace engages the listener throughout the album. The band wanted the 2 albums to reflect 2 different styles, and they definitely accomplished that through this entire journey, though they do it much better on this album. The melodies on here are very palpable, and Ryan Clark's singing is absolutely on point. One of the things that I love about both of these albums, but especially on this one, is Ryan's ability to transmit thoughts that speak to both Christians and non-Christians alike. His writing is insanely eloquent, among the best in the entire metal genre. The only downside to the Peace album is probably the lack of metal on the song Recuse Myself. But even then, it doesn't really stray too far, and it's a really good song. Peace is definitely an Album of the Year contender. I give it a 95 out of 100 on the YPS scale. Finally, we're going to take a look at In Flames' new album, I, the Mask. It was also released on March 1st, but it came out on 11/7 here in North America, and Nuclear Blast around the world. I've praised Nuclear Blast before, so I won't do it again. But I think that 11/7 is a very underrated label in the rock and metal game. They've got bands like Motley Crue, 6am, Five Finger Death Punch, Bad Wolves, and In Flames signed to them. So they're major players here. The album itself, I can't say enough about it. It is amazing. It is everything they did right on their previous effort, Battles, only doubled. Yes, I said everything they did right on Battles. I know that album is very unpopular with old school fans of the band, but I love it. The choruses on I the Mask are very much along the lines of what they were on Battles, which means I think they were fantastic. I do like that they let Anders do a little more rougher vocals on this album, but they're not overbearing and they're mixed well and they complement the song instead of overpowering it. As far as his clean vocals are concerned, they're as good as they were on Battles, maybe even a little bit better. I actually think I like this album more than I did Battles, which is saying a lot because Battles was one of my albums of the year for 2016. The other one was Metallica's Hardwired to Self-Destruct. But this album has a lot of melodic aspects to it, and they're very well done and catchy enough to where they'll be running through your head for days. I must say that I can't find anything wrong with this album. I can't. I know that I've said before that I don't believe in a perfect album, but darn it, this is as close to perfection as you're going to get, at least in my opinion. So, for the first time in the history of both Metalhead Central and the reviews I did outside of Metalhead Central, I'm giving an album a perfect score. In Flames' I the Mask gets 100 out of 100 on the YPS scale. No, I'm not kidding. It's a legitimately amazing record. Go listen to it if you have yet to do that. Thanks for watching, guys. You know that I love doing these for you guys, and I hope you enjoy watching them. Click like, subscribe for more Metalhead Central content. Don't forget to ring that bell. And next week, we're continuing on the melodic death metal thing, although we're going to be veering into a little more deathy territory as we take a look at Children of Bodom's new album, Hexed, right here on Metalhead Central. Thanks again for watching. I'll see y'all next week.